Probably go on TikTok. Just start talking about whatever the product is and what it's done for me and what it can do for others and connect with people. I think that's what I'm learning like over the last 3 or 4 years is that's the new way that people communicate with each other is through social media and being authentic, like 100% authentic and real.
Welcome to MLM Nation, a podcast of leaders, by leaders, for leaders, hosted by Simon Chan. He's built a team of over 200,000 and is now a full-time MLM coach and trainer. So if you're ready to level up your business, join us now. Let's do this.
MLM Nation, this is Simon Chan. I'm fired up to bring our special guest today. We have my friend Blair Critch. Hey, Blair, are you ready to make it happen?
Always ready to make it happen. So excited to be here with you.
I'm so excited for the show. This is the third time Blair has been on. For those who don't know her, she's gone through a lot of drama, a lot of challenges, a lot of lessons in the last few years. But before she got started in network marketing, she was a retired kindergarten teacher. She got started way back in 2009 and has earned over 7 figures in lifetime commissions. Blair has been with her current company since August of 2024 and is a 6-figure earner and personally has sponsored over 120 customers already. Blair credits her success to being authentic and how she uses things that God has put in her life, such as being diagnosed with cancer, as a gift instead of punishment. Blair, as I mentioned before, has been on episode 761, where she talked about how to get small business owners interested in your business, and also in episode 574, where she talked about how to get your spouse and family to support your network marketing business. But Blair, welcome back. The last time we had you was almost 2 years ago, in May 2023. Anyway, good to see you're healthy. How have you been?
So good. Thank you so much. I always love being on here with you. Your energy is contagious. And I love what you're doing in this world. I know MLM is changing a lot right now. So I love that you're still putting this great message out there of how amazing this community is.
I'm going to talk about those changes in a bit, because a lot have changed in the last 2 weeks. Even after we scheduled this interview, tons have changed. Right? But take us back in 2009. How did you go from kindergarten to network marketing?
Great question. So I never saw myself as a salesperson, never thought I would be successful in this industry. I actually even dabbled. Those of you that might remember Mona V, my husband bought me a $2,000 package when we first got married. We went to somebody's house and he's like, you'd be amazing at this. You talk to everybody. We didn't sell one bottle, not one. And then I started teaching kindergarten and I even dabbled in Discovery Toys, didn't sell anything, really just got a discount on toys for my classroom. So in 2009, we were climbing out of a really horrible bankruptcy. And on top of that, I actually found out that my husband was addicted to oxycodone after a knee surgery. And so I really had to figure out how can I help our family as quick as possible? It was the spring of 2009, which meant I couldn't go back to teaching till the fall to bring us some income in. I was thinking about working at a camp that summer with 2 little kids at home. And literally I saw on Facebook somebody having an online jewelry party. And this is before people did online parties. This was very out of the box. And I remember calling up my friend who I saw comment on this party, who also lived in Florida. And I was like, hey, can you connect me with the woman who's doing this? I think this would be a great idea for me to host one of these parties and get some free jewelry that I could use for the end of the school year teacher gifts, because I can't even afford to buy anything right now. And she connected me with this woman who lived in Montana. And she's like, hey, this is a new company we just launched and we don't really have anybody yet in Florida. You should do it. And my mom was like, you'd be great at this. I'll pay your startup fee. I think it was $250. And I thought, I'm horrible at sales, but I'll try. And so I had a party and I had 10 people sign up for shows. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Let's see what happens. And over the next 2 months, I made more money those 2 months than I did teaching, because here in South Florida, you do not get paid great your first 5 years of teaching. And so my husband, being an entrepreneur, was like, give it a year. What do we have to lose at this point? We're at the bottom. Let's just see what could happen. And so he really trained me in entrepreneurship, gave me books to read, things to listen to, like Think and Grow Rich. If you've never listened to that, highly recommend Napoleon Hill. And I dug in, and within 8 months, I was making $99,000. We had brought in $99,000, and that was huge for a kindergarten teacher who was making $30,000 a year, and to see the possibility. And so that started me on that journey of network marketing and direct sales. And also, it's so much fun. I had no idea the community that you create when you're part of a business like this.
You said that you thought it was selling, but don't you have to sell? So how do you convince people?
Yeah, great question. So for me, I think what clicked and what changed for me was actually love the product. Right. And so here I was having these jewelry parties with people and I really loved the jewelry. And so to me, it really wasn't selling. It was helping people. Like, let me help you pick out your Mother's Day gifts. Let me help you pick out birthday gifts or something that looks nice on you or that you're comfortable with. One of the things I loved is like when somebody would put on a piece of jewelry and you just saw them light up and with confidence and they felt good about themselves. But then I was in that company for about 4 years. And what happened was, honestly, I was just sick of being away from my family. When they were little, it was really fun to do 10 or 15 trunk shows a month because my husband would come home from work and be like, high five, you got the kids, I'm out, right? But as the kids got older and they have games and practices and homework, I was missing those things and I didn't like it. And so I ended up finding another product, a vitamin supplement in the summer of 2014 that really helped me. And again, that light bulb went off. Wait a minute. This is residual this time. This is something that every month people have to reorder. I don't need to leave my house to do shows. I can work it all from my computer and my phone. And I'm actually passionate about the product and I can help men and women, not just women. And so that was how I transitioned to the next company. But again, it was something that to me didn't feel like selling because I'm sharing the experiences. I'm sharing what the product's doing, how it could help them. And I think when you switch that mindset in your head, of that you're really impacting and helping people, for me, it biblically lined up with what I believe, which is I'm here to use my gifts and talents to help other people, to be the hands and feet of my Lord and Savior. So for me, it was very simple to go out there and share. And, I do it when there's a Target sale. I do it when, I'm in love with the product. So to me, it was very simple switch.
I'm going to ask you a question, especially during this time. A lot of people are probably wondering, but I've never asked you this before. Why do leaders leave the company? So you recently left, and then you've been with your company in August 2024. And there's a second part to this question, but why do leaders leave? For those who are like, maybe they're disappointed to see leaders leave. Why?
Yeah, it was really hard because I didn't want to disappoint my team, right? I love my team. You build a team, they're your community, they're your ride or die. These people went through my cancer journey with me. So I held on for, I would say, a good 18 to 20 months longer than I should have. Because I always remember something Eric Worre actually said. He said, the only reason you should ever leave a company is a couple reasons. One, the products don't work for you anymore. How are you going to sell something that you don't believe in? Right. And for me, that was one of the issues was my body changed chemically. I went through cancer. I went through menopause. I became plant-based. Like the way that I live my life is different. And the things that I've learned about health and wellness has changed. I've evolved. The second thing I remember him saying is, or if you feel like the leadership has changed, maybe they sold the company or, hands changed, whatever. And then the third thing I remember him saying is, or if you believe there's something unethical going on. And so for me, there was 2 out of those 3 things going on at the company, and it just did not feel right to me anymore, but I was hanging on because of my team. And I remember actually somebody who is a great mentor of mine. He said to me, well, it seems like you're being loyal to a company instead of being loyal to your faith and to your family. And that was the moment where I was like, you know what? You're right. And I really started opening up my ears and my eyes. That was July. And literally 2 weeks later, somebody put me on a Zoom with my current CEO and founder of the company I'm currently with. And when I heard her share, it wasn't even to try to pitch me. It was to share a product that I was already using that I could get through her instead. And somebody wanted me to meet her. And it was like, I knew it was a gift from God. It was like, okay, I'm listening, I'm open, and I'm hearing. And it was something I was already using and passionate about.
So a lot of people who are listening, they haven't had success before, right? And I think you're selling a vision, you're selling a dream, and your confidence. But a lot of people misunderstand that you need to have success. Like if I had Blair's success, then it's so easy for me to convince people. What's the mindset when you leave a company? Obviously, they don't take it the wrong way. You led your people to the wrong path because the things changed. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
And how can you just start new and have the belief that people are still going to follow you? Because some people say, well, Blair, I follow you, the company obviously didn't work out. I spent all this money, spent thousands of dollars. I'm still struggling. Why should I listen to you, Blair? So what's the mindset of a leader like you to overcome that?
Well, I think there's two parts there. So my customers, I was worried about what you just said. I was like, oh, are they going to think I'm just hopping from business to business because I want to sell them something, right? And I know a lot of you guys listening to this have that feeling, even to just reach out to people in general. Like, I don't want them to think I'm selling something. And so I really had to work through that mindset. I spent a good week on working through my mindset of that and realizing that my health journey has evolved. Like, you don't still use the same cleaning products probably that you used 10 years ago, right? We all change, we evolve, things change. So I had to be honest with myself and have some conversations and gain the confidence again in that area and be honest with people. Like, my health journey has evolved. This is what I'm doing. And doesn't mean the other products aren't going to work for you. They might, but for me, I needed something else, especially women in perimenopause and menopause. Our bodies change. But for my team, I was very honest and I did not try to take my team with me because I don't believe that everybody had the same experience as me, right? A lot of people were still having amazing results with those products. And so I had a very honest conversation, I think very differently than most leaders. Actually, I'm pretty sure our CEO did not want me to have this conversation, but I did it anyways. And I just got on a Zoom with them and I said, listen, I'm going to be honest, I'm leaving. You're going to hear about it over the next week. And for me, here's why my health journey evolved. Here's what I'm doing now. You guys have seen me do this for the last year and a half. Will I still take a couple of the products? Of course. But if you love these products, you should stay here. You should keep going. There is a success here. These people are still having success, right? So there's no reason that you have to leave. And I'm not trying to take anybody with me. I'm starting over and I'll show you guys that no matter where you are, you can have success if you believe in a product and if you believe in the company and you're willing to put in the time and the energy and the work to reach out, connect, and have those conversations. So I did not take a team with me.
Well, I asked this question to my coaching members when they're struggling to recruit people. I would ask them, give me 10 reasons why someone should join you. All right. So I'm going to ask that question to you. Like, why should someone join Blair Critch?
Well, that's a great question. So I would say, and by the way, he did not give me these questions ahead of time. So those of you listening are like, well, she should know what she's going to say. I did not know he was going to ask me that, but I love it.
And by the way, I didn't know I was going to ask that question either. I was just like, these are off the cuff. They're more authentic. It's real.
Yeah, I love that. I'm actually going to use that question. It's so good. So first of all, I am totally authentic. I am who I say I am. My team, I support no matter where you are on my team. No matter how the compensation plan looks, which by the way, I've probably looked at 80 compensation plans in my time with network marketing, right? And no matter what the compensation plan is, I believe in helping everybody on my team. I want to see everybody succeed. We share and we do everything together on my team. So a win for one is a win for all. We celebrate everybody, but we also share all of our things. Anything that's working for me, I also give to my team. So I create boards apps and different email funnels and things like that. I share a lot of stuff with my team. And you're not going to find anybody else who is in the weeds with you every single day leading you like I am, because I believe that I'm never going to tell somebody to do something that I'm not willing to do myself.
That's an awesome answer. And like I said, I did not tell Blair about it. And I think if you...
It got me sweating.
And I think, like, if you're struggling to recruit, I would hit the rewind button for a minute and listen to how Blair answered that question with confidence and conviction, right? And I think most people would struggle with, why should I join you? And they're like, because I have a good product. I have a great, but you're not, we're selling vision, selling dreams, changing lifestyle. Look what Blair said. You don't need, I love one thing you said. It has nothing to do with success. Right, because some of it you do have success. You talk about the funnels and all that, but you said it doesn't matter. Once you get started, you're going to be in the weeds with them. That shows commitment. Blair is a person of commitment, right? And I think that's someone. If you're listening to this, we can all say that. Now, let me ask you this follow-up question: I don't know. My mom always says my grammar is bad. Where is your team going to be 5 years from now?
Ooh, I'm so excited about that because I've actually never been at the very beginning of a company before. So this is my first time. And of course, there's bumps and there's bruises, right? When you're on the first year of a company. So it's been it's been a huge expansion for me, to be honest. And it's been really fun, especially because I'm 47 now and I'm about to be an empty nester next year. So it's been very new challenge and exciting for me this year. But in 5 years, I actually see our team being, just so big that I know my top leaders, but I don't really know the rest of my team. I'm going to need to make sure I teach leadership and strength and all these things to my team leaders so that they can pour into the rest of the team. I actually wrote a 5-year vision, and on that 5-year vision, it was every single month I'm traveling to a different state to meet people from my team because it will be so much harder for me to know them. But again, I really love to be part of the community. So to me, that's a really important piece. And I'll be able to afford to be able to do that, hopefully with private jet, or at least always being in first class, which I love to do if I can, and be able to really enjoy that time, getting to know people and traveling all over and helping them build their businesses. We do a lot of connecting with small businesses too in the new company that I'm with. And so, flying into Dallas and having a meeting with the team, but also going to meet with a med spa and a doctor's office and a dental office. And so that's kind of what I see for my 5 years from now for our team.
Again, MLM Nation, she's super confident in how she says it. If someone never, because this is not taught in school, how do you come up with that confidence and conviction and that vision and dream? For someone who's never had success before, like when you were a kindergarten teacher, you're going through bankruptcy, you have no money, you failed in different things, right? You failed in network marketing before, really dabbled in it. How do you create that confidence? Hey, this is where we're going to be 5 years from now, flying first class, flying private jets. Where do you get that confidence?
Reading, educating, listening. So I would listen to Think and Grow Rich, just like the 20-minute Earl Nightingale one that you can get on YouTube. Every night when we would go to bed, my husband and I would literally hit play and listen to it as we fell asleep. I think reading and educating myself, like reading Tony Robbins, he has that, like, write your 2-year vision, your 5-year vision, your 10-year vision. I do it every single year. I visualize a lot. I put myself in that place. I also believe in God. And so I read the Bible, and I believe that pretty much everything that's in Think and Grow Rich is actually in the Bible as well. And so I know that there's no gifts or talents that I've been given that were just given for waste. So everything that I do, I know is because I have a greater purpose to serve. Even like when I got cancer and people were like, how are you so positive during time? Now, listen, I cried. It was horrible. Of course, I wasn't happy that I had it. But I remember having these conversations with people of like, I know there's a reason I have this. Like no reason that I would have it unless it's for something bigger than me. And I really believe in that statement of nothing happens to you, everything happens for you. And so if I can learn and educate myself, and it all comes back to like, what are you filling your head with? And listen, you guys, I love the Real Housewives. I am a Bravo fan. People laugh all the time because they can't believe it. So I do have guilty pleasures too. I love to read a fiction book when I'm on vacation. But every day I'm filling my mind with the Word of God and with 20 minutes of personal development.
I just had aha moment. You can share this with your team. I'm going to share with you. Yeah. And it's tied into one of the things I teach is like, if you think, most people think, well, let me ask you, most people, do they think of the future or do they think of the past?
Oh, past.
Past, right? And the past is almost always negative, right? You had your cancer, your business didn't work out, you went bankruptcy, you're struggling, right? Your husband was addicted, all was negative, right? Or you used to be prettier, you used to have more hair, it's always, you're younger, right? That's why people like kind of don't like to be old because they're thinking about the past. And the past is always negative. And then I just realized, but when I talk about casting vision, it's difficult to cast vision if you're thinking of the negative. But what you just mentioned, like all the stuff that you listen to, the power of positive thinking, right? The Norman Vincent Peale, the Bible, it's all future, right? The Bible is mostly talking about vision, future.
Yes.
Right? All those books, Think and Grow Rich, is about the future. So I think my aha moment is like, if you look at any positive motivational book, they're all talking about what?
Yeah.
The future,
the future.
Right? And then if you read those things like what you're doing, obviously you condition yourself to think of the future. If you're watching the news, then you're conditioned to think of the past.
Oh, that's so powerful, right? And the more that you can sit in that and feel, like, use your senses, right? Like one of the big things that my husband and I are visualizing right now is we want a lake house. We have both kids that are going to be in Birmingham, Alabama at the same college starting next fall. We want a lake house within an hour of that school so that they have somewhere fun to go on the weekends, that is a fun activity to do. We can meet them there. They can bring their friends. Like I can already hear the noises of a bunch of teenagers out on a jet ski right outside of our house, laughing, having fun, playing cornhole, right? I'm bringing out lunch to them. Like that brings me so much joy, and I can literally hear it, feel it, see it, smell it.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to do. You want to get so crystal clear on what you want. And it could be something way smaller. Mine's just really big right now because we have a very big focus. But I did this same visualizing when I was trying to just make $2,000 in commission a month, and then $10,000 in commission a month, and then now to like $30,000 and $40,000, right? And I started over last August. So everything I've ever taught my team, I'm doing myself. And within 8 months, I'm making more now a month than I was when I left my last company. So you just have to condition your brain.
Yeah, it's so true because I'm working on something new, but it's like through the personal development and the vision that gets me excited, right? Like I'm sure you have no problems with being consistent or procrastinating because you're excited about your vision. Like if you're so excited about your vision, like that lake house and with the teenager hanging out, right? You're not going to like waste time scrolling and doing something unproductive.
Right.
You're actually counting down today. You got to get it done. Right?
If I'm being honest, sometimes I do, but I do have a picture of it like right behind my computer right now. Like I can literally see it while I'm talking to you. And that reminds me. So it snaps me back into, Blair, what is your focus? Like, what are you really here to do? Right. And so, yeah, don't be scrolling. You said you were going to get on for 15 minutes and connect with people. Now get off. And so also time blocking, man, if you guys don't time block, that has been the biggest gift that I learned in the last 15 years, because I did used to waste a lot of time, especially on social media, because it's a time sucker, but it's part of our business. So if you can give yourself time blocks and set timers, that will help a ton too.
Yeah. I was listening to this entrepreneur and talked about how he stays productive, right? So I'm going to share something with you. It was so funny. Two things. One of them was like, well, a lot of people talk about routines. Right. I thought this was funny. Like, Blair has a routine. Simon's a routine. What's your routine? And I'm going to copy that routine. And this guy's like, I didn't follow any routine. All I did was drink a lot of coffee, turn off my phone, and work.
I mean,
that's when I made the most money. He's like, when I try to follow these different routines, I try to get distracted, never got anything done. And the other thing is, this guy talked about like the best app. I mean, we need a phone for our business, but sometimes we need it. It can be distracting. He's like, the best app is airplane mode.
Yeah.
Right.
So true.
And then the other one was like, this guy became really productive because I think for 1 month, he needed to get a project done and he deleted every app on his phone. And it just, boom, boom, it just worked. On the computer, just working.
My husband has done that before, and he says it is so powerful. Yeah. And we do it actually like right now, our big goal, right, is this lake house. And so whenever we create a goal together, we always cast the vision, but we also say, what do we need to do and who do we need to become to get that? And what do we need to let go of? And one of the things that we chose to let go of for the month of May is Uber Eats, because we're Uber Eats people. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I love healthy food. I'm plant-based. So I love having a salad delivered to me every day. And so we committed to stopping our Uber Eats. And so we literally both just took the app off last week. And so starting in May, we will have no Uber Eat app for a whole month. So I love that you just said that. I'm going to start doing that with other apps.
So I don't even use Uber Eats. Why is Uber Eats addictive? Why you're scrolling for places to...
So the reason it's not, it does help with productivity as far as like, I'm not having to actually cook, right?
Right.
But it's a lot of money. Like a salad that would normally cost me $20, it's going to end up being almost $38 or $39 by the time you get it to your house. So it's just like those little things, it's being lazy. Right. And so we just said, we were talking about different things. Who do we need to become to get to where we want to be? That was one of the things that we both said is we need to stop being lazy. We need to be better about time blocking, like let's make our meals on Sunday and let's make our meals on Thursday. And then we just heat them up during the week or eat them. So things like that. I think that, sometimes you have to get down to those nitty gritty details to understand what you're wasting time, energy, and money on.
Yeah, I think where time tracking comes in. If you track your time, then you realize, just like tracking your money, you realize how much money you're spending on Uber Eats. You talked about time blocking a couple of times already. What is your routine? What times do you block off? And what do you do during those times?
Yeah, so I find personally, I am the best in the morning. And so I have switched around my routine lately. I do workouts in the afternoon. And first thing in the morning after my son, leaves for school, then I'm focused on following up with my customers. Some days it's a certain social media block. It's checking in on my brand partners. It's making sure that I have my email set up for the week, my social media set up for the week. It's kind of different each day, but I do have like a set income producing activities for social media because that is one that can suck me down a black hole. And so I do either a 30-minute or a 1-hour block of social media every day to connect and engage and getting with people. And I do a working Zoom with my team to teach them that same 1 hour block. So we host that once a week where we just all get on together and work for that 1 hour on our social media so that they can get their own time blocking strategy to figure out what works for them.
So aside from time blocking, what else helps you stay consistent?
Great question. So I would say, well, it's my calendar, it's my time blocking, it's my vision, right? So that keeps me consistent because it's like, I really want this.
Yeah.
And then I actually, one thing that I do every morning after I read the Bible is I read my 1 year vision. So, and I read it as if it's already happened. So I'm just like kind of thanking God for it as if it's already there. And so I think all those things, by starting my morning that way, it helps me throughout the day to remember why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I can stay consistent on whatever I put down on my calendar.
Since we last talked 2 years ago, well, we talked before then, but like since we last had you on the show, what's the biggest lesson you learned? Or one of the lessons you learned that's been very helpful or about yourself?
Listen to your intuition. I really should have listened 18 months ago when I knew something was not right, that it was time for me to move on to something new. And I really hung on. And I will tell you, I think my mental health suffered from me not listening to my own intuition. Like, I think that I really, like, this drive is who I really am. I love to be engaged and excited and connected. And I like to work hard. I believe that we have gifts and talents for a reason. And so I think that last 18 months, I kind of floated, and that was not good for me. And I knew in my gut, it wasn't the right thing, but I was being a little bit lazy. And I was like, well, I worked so hard. I've been here for 10 years. I should be able to float, but that's not who I am.
I think intuition is like when God's speaking to us. And then like when we don't do it, it's like our pride getting in the way. But like you said, like kind of a sense of entitlement. I worked so hard. You've been there for 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My ego, right? It was like,
well,
I should be able to sit back and enjoy this. Yeah.
Hey, you've been amazing. We can talk forever, but let's wrap it up. I want to ask you some quick questions to pick your brain. These can be quick one-liners. What is one of your favorite success quotes that motivates you?
It's the Zig Ziglar one. I'm going to butcher it, but it's the one, if you want to have success, help everybody else get what they want to get what you want.
What is one habit that's helped you become successful?
Being in the Word every day and reading self-development every day.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
That one that I got last July, where he was like, are you going to be loyal to your Lord and loyal to your family, or loyal to a business?
What's your favorite prospecting tool? Say you have a qualified prospect, they're interested. Do you get them on the phone? Do you send them a video? Do you do a Zoom? Do you send out samples? What do you like to use?
Educational video is usually what I'll go to first. And then actually, I just started this last year, and I highly recommend to everybody. I started using Calendly for myself for 15-minute just quick, discovery calls. And I'm loving that because I think you can get so much done in 15 minutes when people feel heard and seen.
What's your favorite app on your phone that's not a social media app?
It's my favorite app on my phone that's not a social media app. Life 360. That's the one I use the most.
You mentioned a couple good books already. Any other 2 or 3 other books you could recommend?
Sure. I love Success Principles by Jack Canfield. Huge one. Another one that I love, if you've never done Miracle Morning, like, man, that changed my life. Miracle Morning for network marketers, brilliant. Like, just learning a morning routine to be successful, that was huge for our family. And then also, I love the book Worthy Human by Tracy Litt. If you've never done any subconscious work to like reprogram your brain, this one is phenomenal.
And here's the last question, the $1 million question. You ready?
I'm ready.
So imagine you had to start all over again and you knew no one, but you had all your current knowledge, skills, and wisdom. So you didn't know your husband, didn't know your kids, didn't know anyone. What's the first thing you do or the first place you go to build a network marketing business from scratch?
I'd probably go on TikTok.
And what would you do there?
Just start talking about whatever the product is and what it's done for me and what it can do for others and connect with people. I think that's what I'm learning, like over the last 3 or 4 years, is that's the new way that people communicate with each other, is through social media and being authentic, like 100% authentic and real.
As we wrap up, any last words or advice? And then what's the best way our listeners and viewers can connect with you, Blair?
Okay, awesome. So here's my advice. Find something you love and you're passionate about. And then, yes, work is still work, but it'll make it so much easier for you every day if you're passionate about whatever it is that you're sharing. And then you can find me on Instagram. I'm Blair Critch, #2, because there's another Blair Critch on there somehow. And then on TikTok, I'm Blair.Critch. And you can also find me on Facebook as well, Blair Critch. And I would love to connect with you. So feel free to reach out.
MLM Nation, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And today you've been hanging out with Blair Critch. So keep up with momentum and go to MLMNation.com, click on the podcast tab in the show notes, all the nuggets of wisdom, and also the social media profiles for Blair will be right there. Definitely follow her and look at all the good stuff that she's doing, this type of content that she's posting. In order to be successful in life, in business, and in network marketing, you must help others. So Blair, thanks again for sharing your valuable time with MLM Nation. We're grateful to you, and we appreciate you for having a positive impact on millions of distributors worldwide. Thank you so much again, and God bless you.
Thank you.
MLM Nation, Simon Chan here. Real recap of what we talked about Blair. As an entrepreneur, we're always selling vision, right? And especially in this industry, you're not selling a product, you're selling dreams, and you're selling vision of where you can go. And if there's any takeaway here, is that it's your confidence and conviction in your dream that's going to convince people to join you. And if you have that vision and confidence in you, and you're confident about it, you're constantly thinking about it, visualizing it, then you're going to take the actions to do it. Right? I'll give you an example. Like if you struggle with consistency, being distracted, but you're so focused on your goal, then you're going to say no to the distractions. You're not even interested in seeing that, right? It's kind of like if you were watching just say back in the day, a lot of you don't watch TV anymore, but if you're watching TV and you're really into that series and you're watching a show and someone's interrupting you, asking you to go to the restaurant, or you're going to go in, check something out, or listen to the song, or go out there and play sports, or go for a walk, you're not interested because you're so focused on that vision. Right? You're focused on that TV show. The same thing with your vision. The vision is going to make you consistent. It's how you see yourself, right? I always talk about if you see yourself as consistent, see yourself that dream vision of that thing that we're going is going to happen, and being that person, 95% of success is mindset. That was going to lead you to the skills. Like right now, as I'm recording this, I'm working on something new, very exciting. I invested money in personal development, invested time into it, and I constantly think about it. Right. And before I go to bed, that's what I'm looking at. And then when I wake up, I'm excited. It's like Tony Robbins talks about, like what gets you excited. Right. I'm not worried about being inconsistent and wasting time doing things and I'm always thinking about the future. But even with my kids, we work baseball every day because we're thinking about the future, right? Being a star in high school, their dreams is play in college, be a pro player, right? We're thinking about a future. That's what we're working consistently every day at it. We don't need much motivation because we're focused on the future. If you struggle to be consistent, it starts with your mindset. If you struggle with convincing people, it's because you're not confident. If I ask you, why should someone join you? I guarantee you're not confident like the way Blair is. And Blair has been with different companies, right? And why do leaders leave? She talked about why leaders leave when it's not in alignment with what your ethics are, your values, and your vision. And you almost have to leave. Because otherwise, you're never going to be successful anyway. So I'm going to keep this short. Just like, a couple questions. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? How confident can you answer that question? And you really believe in it? And then, how do you see yourself? Why should someone join you? What are 10 reasons? Someone wakes you up in the middle of the night. Why should I join you? Can you confidently say that? And if you can't, that's why it's the lack of belief. Right? Stop giving reasons why you can't and give reasons why you can't. If you think about the past, it's going to be negative. Most of your past thoughts are all negative. Most of them, I would say 95% of them are negative. The future thoughts are exciting. Right? If I think about past, think about my mistakes, puts me down, doesn't motivate me. Think about the future, what can be, motivating. In my aha moment, when there's books that talk about whether it's Think and Grow Rich, Success Habits, Success Principles, that Blair talked about by Jack Canfield, those are all future based books of who you can become. That's exciting. Who you are. There's no one that says you can't do it. Only one that's not allowing you is yourself. Go do that work today. Work on your future. Give yourself reasons why you can. And if someone asks you, if I ask you, hey, why should I join you? Can you answer that confidently? Hey, that's my message for you today. Recap. Great show. Make sure you follow Blair. Go to MLMNation.com or the link in the show notes page. There we have detailed show notes page and action steps for you. Also, Blair's social media profile. Go follow her and leave us a review on MLM Nation on YouTube. Really appreciate it. And leave us a review on our podcast and subscribe to us on YouTube. And hey, go apply what you learn. Be that leader and have a positive impact on someone's life. God bless. See you on the next show.